So hopefully this version of shader constructor implementation is going to compile fine. And this is so far the changes that took place in our main function. So right now, after initializing glue library, initializing all OpenGL driver addresses, now the next step that I have here is use the compile program. So I'm just going to leave it at this and jump to the to laboratory 2 handout and see what we have to do next. And so the next part is to remove global functions in our main file and make them member functions of our shader class. Okay, so perhaps what we need to do is, if we scroll down, we already have basically implementations of all of this shader class member functions: load text file, compiled OK, and linked OK, and so forth. All of these are already here, right? So you can see that these are all the functions that already present in our shader.cpp implementation file. And so the idea is to actually move the implementation from the main file over. So this is where it says added for laboratory 2. So this is the load text file and this is the load text file. So the idea is to simply take this from here, right, and move it. So again, I can just cut and paste it as just the implementation is now relocates to the shader.cpp. Similarly, is shader compiled OK? So is shader compiled OK? It's the next one. So I just do carefully one by one, and just be careful not to misplace the opening and closing braces. I tend to do this all the time, so just see where the opening brace is and the closing brace is for each one of these functions, and we need to take only the internal implementation of the function. So I'm just going to cut and paste it right here. So the next one is compile vertex shader. So it's this one right here, compile vertex shader. So just again taking the implementation, cut and paste this compile vertex shader. And the next one is compile fragment shader. So that's this one. Okay, so one by one, they're here in the same order for our convenience, so everything gets moved. And then is link shader okay? Is link shader okay? So it's this one. So I'll just take this, Control X, Control V. Okay, so that the is link shader okay, and then link shader program is the next one over here. Link shader program, so it goes right here. So the idea is that we'd like to encapsulate everything inside our shader object as opposed to spilling it over everywhere around our application. So now you see that my functions that were used to be global functions, now they're all modified, and I'll just take them out. Okay, I'll just remove them. I'll just delete them, because they're now all this logic for these functions got moved. So all of this goes away. So right now, if we compare what it was and what it is now, so now we have this function named upload vertex positions, and the next one that I have is change viewport. Okay, so in my main file lab2.cpp I have upload vertex positions, and the next function that remains here is change viewport. Everything else got moved over here. Alright, so this step is complete, I think. So here we finished our member functions in this implementation file for new class shader.cpp.